Hi, my name is Jeff Pagano, and welcome to the Harper and Rugby Preview Show. And joining me to look ahead to Leinster's next outing at the RDS this season is someone back for cap number 66. Hello to Mr. Neil Keego Keegan.
How are we? First thing before we start, if there's any bosses listening, ban lunchtime meetings. That's the only way forward. And number two, apologies. I have more bags under my eyes than a Ryanair flight. So it's been a long week, but I'm ready for tomorrow.
That's it. And yeah, you haven't been on for a while doing the previews. Last time we had you on, Leinster were actually yet to win a match, but they managed to win three on the bounce since you're gone. So maybe you should go off for another while if you can. No, seriously, did you get to catch up on the games? Did you? What did you make of them?
Yeah, I've watched them all in the chunk. So yeah, as we've spoken about previously, post World Cup, I've been a little bit. I haven't been ready to be hurt again. But now I'm ready to get back into this relationship we have with Leinster, and I watched them all in a block, and you can see improvements going along, and you can see a plan. So when we spoke at the beginning of the season, we were wondering how they're going to bring all the Irish guys back, how Nina Bar is going to get in, all that sort of stuff, and you can see improvements as we go, and then this team gets announced. So like there's momentum going. It's a matter of now the guys getting back in and playing like they never left, So yeah, it's been a nice last few weeks now after a dodgy start.
Absolutely. Okay, well, let's crack on and look at our feature match of the week, which is, of course, Leinster v Scarlets in round 5 of the 23-24 United Rugby Championship. It's taking place at the RDS Arena on Saturday, November the 18th, kicking off at 7:35 p.m. TV coverage in Ireland is on TG Cahir, Premier Sports 1 and URC.tv. And as ever, you can find the full listings for the weekend's rugby on harpandrugby.com. Just click the Rugby on TV tab. Now, Leinster named their match day 23 at lunchtime on Friday. If you're watching on YouTube, it should be right there in the screen. And for pod listeners, it's in the program notes. Now, Keego's come up with a few points on the team, starting with the guys coming back from the World Cup.
So yeah, we spoke about this. How are they going to bring them back in drips and drabs? Do some people need longer off? All that sort of stuff. And then we get this team today, and you kind of, this is when the confidence comes back. This is when everything comes back. When you look at not just the players coming back, but the players who are staying in the starting 15, or the players who are brought into the starting 15. So you got we've got Porter and Kelleher starting, but we've also got Thomas Clarkson there. That's massive for him. And then you come into 9 and 10, which is mind-blowing stuff. Gibson Park back in, but Prendergast stays there, and that's a start for him again with the Irish number 9. So it's massive. It's huge confidence in those players and the squad around as well as bringing the guys in. Jimmy O'Brien coming back is brilliant as well. Jamie Osborne, found out during the week he's only 22. It's insane, but he's in there, he's starting. And then we have our two captains. So the first time we're going to see the co-captains captaining at the same time. So who makes the decisions? Where do they make the decisions? Is it, how are they going to work that when they're both on the pitch at the same time? So there's a lot of interesting stuff going on, but it's an absolutely massive, massive squad. There's a real message being sent here because, I have a soft spot for the Scarlets. When they play well. They're all Welsh teams are having a tough time, but they're going to come and go for it. So we have to really stand up. These guys can't afford, 15, 20 minutes to settle back in. They're going to be in, and they're going to be in as if they never left.
Yeah, there's been a lot of hurt for Leinster and Ireland players this season. There's been a lot of wins, but obviously the big matches they'd like to put out of their memories. And so I suppose getting back into the squad as soon as possible is a good reason it's a good way to sort of put that out of the memory. But plus, two of the teams that hurt us are coming down the track in the next few weeks. So this is a good chance for a lot of these players to get back into the team and settle in. So the second point you want to talk about is Mr. Nienaber and what kind of changes he might make to Leinster.
Absolutely, especially when you consider the momentum we're building, as you were talking about earlier on. The interesting thing is going to be how is he going to come in and change everything? Is he going to come in and tinker with little pieces? Especially coming off the World Cup for him. So that's going to be interesting to see. I assume he'll be there or thereabouts this weekend, watching the game, getting stuck in. I don't know how they're going to do it in terms of updating him while he's been away. All that's happening in the background, but it'll be the lads are coming back, so you kind of go, okay, we need them to settle in before maybe changes are being made, or do we do all the changes while the lads are in? It's not that they can't handle this information; it's just a matter of how they're gonna manage it, especially with kind of Munster and that other team we don't want to talk about coming up in the next little while, as you say. So yeah, it's all this sort of stuff is really interesting. Whether it's co-captaining, whether it's the new coach, whether it's kind of Prendergast starting, Clarkson starting, all this sort of stuff. It's interesting, but not worrying, which is good.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing about Nienaber is that, I mean, his remit is kind of defense. And that's kind of one of his specialties. And like Leinster, okay, we didn't start great defensively against Glasgow, but one of the features of the past 3 weeks, we may have wasted a lot of opportunities, but over the 3 weeks, throughout the entire 80 minutes, even when the bench is on, is that the defensive standards have been great. So when you imagine that this guy is coming in who's just led a team to the second World Cup, but not only that, 3 1-point wins in a row in knockout matches. You need a good defense to be able to win those games, and if he can somehow bring an extra level to that, to our systems and stuff, which there's always room for improvement. I mean, you can only imagine how it's going to look. So we'll see what happens down the line. Now, your third point, earlier in the season, we had Dublin for Sam, but now we got Sam for Leinster. He's coming in for his first start. What do you reckon? I think this is his first start at the RDS.
It's unbelievable. Just before we move on to that, everyone needs to clip your last statement and play that at the end of the season. That's what we got to look back on.
I had to get in there first because someone was going to say
it. But Prendergast coming in, like things you forget when you watch him on TV. You don't really realize how big he is. You don't really realize how close to the line he plays, like the Saints, the King that we shall not mention, because we're not ready yet. But he does a lot of things, but he has his own little twist on that. And like we're now building him up to the point where, okay, on you go. There's the Irish number 9. There's your 2 captains on the pitch at the one time. There's your starting 1 and 2. Look at the team that we have put around you. Go fly now. Go fly. And that's what we're trying to do. That's what we're trying to see. Not a lot of pressure on this weekend, with all due respect to the Scarlets. Not a lot of pressure on. So there will be a bit of time, bit of space for him to play. But we're at the beginning. It's like similar to Munster with Crowley when they're letting him go a little bit and take charge. It's up to him. He's got a lot of Prendergast has a lot of characters to take charge of this weekend. 2 captains, hundreds of caps out there on the pitch, and he's the one calling the shots. So it's going to be interesting. Another step up for the guy. How's he going to run the game? How's he going to quarterback the game? Everything is going to be interesting. I haven't found so many things interesting in a long time, but but it's brilliant. He's worth everyone's money to watch. Not twice the ticket price. Let's not say that, but he's on the way, and it's a big weekend for him.
Yeah, they started the season with Harry Byrne. They had him starting pretty much every week at 10, and Sam was coming on from him. Then, of course, last week they had Ross just to get it some time under his belt. But
great game for us as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a good chance for Sam. Like you say, he's got a lot of experience around him. He's got, but he's always shown that he has that ability and he has the confidence. And you talk about the King who shall not be named, but it's he does play a little bit like him, and it's a bit of his body language. He does this one kind of pass that Sexton used to do, and you can tell that he's influenced by him. And how could you not be when you've come up through the system at somewhere like Leinster? But it's a real opportunity for him. We'll see how he gets on. Yep. Okay, so maybe we'll have a look now at our opposition, which is, of course, the Scarlets, and they named their team as well at the same time. Did you have a chance to have a look? What do you make of it?
Yeah, I had a scan of it, like, you know what I mean? They have a strong front row, there's recognizable names all around there, but we can't sugarcoat it. Welsh Rugby's in trouble. It's very difficult to operate as a team when what the story is, how much trouble the whole thing is. So it can either make you retreat and go, why do I bother? Or it can give you a bit of freedom. Scarlets always are good with a bit of freedom and fearlessness playing the game. Like way back when they were stronger, they were always a good watch, and they were always a great team to go up against. I remember a few games of the RDS where they were very close, and they were playing really, really sexy rugby. like everyone, they'll come along and have a shot. No, I remember to do the picks this week. I picked Leinster plus 10, and I think that's going to end up being a little bit short. That's how I see it going.
Yeah, it's I mean, there are, like you said, there's a lot of names in there. Hardy, Jonathan Davis, the captain, Williams. There's a couple of Williams there, where
Yeah.
but it does it but it's a far cry from their 2017 team, like you said, that beat us at the RDS, and it's a shame they couldn't build on that kind of success and move on to greater things. But I mean, there's no other way to look at it as a challenge for them. But we saw, like, even against the Dragons last week, when Leinster sort of won comfortably enough in the end. You see them all start. They start with an intention. You can see that they have a plan. Dragons tried to get us with a kind of a rush defense from the kickoff, and you can imagine the Scarlets. They're not just going to come and just say, "Oh, we're hot," before they're gonna give it a good go at the start and maybe get it. They know there's a young lad at starting at 10, so they might have a go at that. So we'll see how they get on anyway. Okay, so now we move on to the officials, and it's Holly Davison is the referee, and I've been trying to look around. It's not an easy stat to find. It's just she's the first female referee of a Leinster game. I know that Joy Neville has been TMO and line assistant before, but actually holding the whistle. I'm not sure if we've had Holly before, but it's great. She's one of the best referees in the league, and good to see her at the RDS. The weather for Dublin 4 is not looking great. It's turning cloudy, and there's not a great chance of rain, but it's the wind. It's 22 to 56 kilometers an hour, so it could be kind of a windy night in Balls Bridge, but we'll see what happens there. Okay, so before we move on, there's a whole schedule of URC matches this weekend. What other match are you looking forward to the most?
So yeah, I love Friday Night Rugby. I like Ulster and Lions. I'm going to watch that tonight. And then Connacht are my other team. I love watching Connacht play ball. And you look at the players they have coming back, and they made a big deal of the 3 guys coming back into camp, which is going to help them. They're off to South Africa, so it's going to be great. So we got Ulster tonight at 7:30, Connacht tomorrow at 3, and then Leinster at 7:35. I have no interest in any other province that is playing this weekend.
No replay of last year's final. Nothing like that going on. Okay, fair enough. And you've already given your prediction, but you say you're thinking Leinster by 10.
Yeah, now that we're talking about it, I'm kind of thinking that's a little bit light, but I've been kind of going too far the other side at the end of last season into this season. The pressure to get rid of that jersey out of the house from our picks is getting to me, so I'm being a bit conservative this week.
Okay, fair enough. And just before we wrap things up, Keego, what stand-up gigs do you have lined up down the road?
So yeah, we're going to be running, or I'm going to be running a comedy club in Rascals Brewery in Inchicore. So that's going to be kicking off in January, and then starting the tour for I Confuse Easy in January as well. Starting that in glamorous Phibsborough, which is, I've been told, is the Beverly Hills of Dublin. So pop along. All the details will be coming up soon.
Brilliant stuff, and of course you'll find all those relevant links in the program notes. Okay, listen, we're going to leave it there. Many thanks to Keego for harping. Looking forward to having you on again soon, man. Thanks a million.
Cheers.
And also thanks to you all for tuning into our latest preview show. Enjoy the match wherever you are, and sure to follow us all on the usual social media channels. We will, of course, have a wrap pod for you this weekend, recording on Sunday evening. Hopefully you'll help us out by liking, sharing, and subscribing. In the meantime, stay safe, everyone. Slán.